should have known better. I knew I should have walked away the moment I saw her. I just couldn't. There was something about the doll, something that pulled me in, like a magnet. Maybe it was the way she sat in the corner of that dusty old shop, hidden behind a collection of forgotten trinkets, her porcelain face chipped and cracked. Yet her eyes, those eyes, were too bright. They gleamed with an unsettling kind of clarity, as if they could see more than they should. I'm not superstitious. At least I wasn't then. I don't believe in ghosts or curses or any of that. I'm logical, practical. But when I picked her up, the air seemed to change. The store was suddenly too warm, and the faint smell of something rotting in the walls made my stomach churn. The old shopkeeper watched me carefully as I set the doll on the counter. She didn't say anything, just stared at me with those knowing eyes, almost like she expected me to buy it. I didn't ask why it was still there, why someone would leave a doll in such a state. I didn't need to. I had to have it. I told myself I'd fix it, clean it up, and put it somewhere nice. That night, when I brought her home, I didn't notice anything off at first. She sat on my desk, motionless, as I made myself dinner and went about my evening routine. But by the time I went to bed, I felt it. A presence. Something in the room with me. Something just out of sight. I tried to shake it off, telling myself it was just the stress from work, the late hours I'd been keeping. But when I rolled over to sleep, I saw her. The doll. She wasn't on the desk anymore. She was sitting on the floor, in the corner of my room, facing me. How did she get there? I didn't remember moving her, but I couldn't deny what I was seeing. My heart pounded in my chest. It was too late to get up, too late to move her. So I forced myself to close my eyes, willing myself to sleep. I thought, maybe, just maybe, I had imagined it. But the next night, she was closer, right next to my bed. The faintest scrape of porcelain on wood woke me in the dead of night. It was her. She had moved. Her tiny hands, cracked from age, were pressed flat against the floor, her body tilted just enough to make it obvious that she wasn't just sitting there, waiting. She was leaning toward me. At first, I thought it was just my mind playing tricks. But the next morning, I found her again, in a different spot, closer still. She was positioned now, facing me in a way that felt deliberate. That's when the unease started to settle in slow, insidious, creeping up my spine like icy fingers. I tried to convince myself it was nothing, just my imagination, the weird lighting in the room, the way my mind tricked me in the dark. But then things got worse. One night, I woke to the unmistakable sound of whispering, low, unintelligible murmurs that slithered through the dark. At first, I thought it was just the wind, or maybe even the old pipes in the building. But then, I realized the whispers were coming from her, the doll. Her lips, her cracked, painted lips were moving. Come closer. I froze. My body locked in terror, but my mind was still wrestling with disbelief. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. I must have been dreaming, hallucinating from the exhaustion. I clutched my sheets, trying to silence the words in my head, but they wouldn't stop. Come closer. I could barely breathe. I should have gotten up, thrown her out the window, but I couldn't. I couldn't move. I could only watch as the doll, now inches from the edge of my bed, slowly tilted her head toward me, her eyes wide open and too knowing. That was when the shadows started. They crept across the walls at night, curling and shifting in ways that shouldn't have been possible. I would wake up to see them twitching at the corners of my vision, writhing in the dark. No matter how many times I turned the light on, they always returned, as if they were waiting for something. Waiting for her. The shadows weren't the worst part. No, that was just the beginning. I began to notice changes in the doll herself. Subtle, unsettling shifts. Her face. The expression would change when I wasn't looking. as if she was smiling, just a little, when I wasn't paying attention. I couldn't be sure of it, though. It was always too quick, too fleeting. I would turn to her and she would be the same cracked porcelain figure, but in my mind, I knew. I knew it wasn't the same. And then, the doll. She began to speak. Not whispers anymore. Clear, raspy words, like a child trying to form sentences for the first time. Play with me. I could hear it distinctly, in the quiet hours of the night when the world outside was still. I didn't dare move, not at first. I didn't want to admit what was happening. But each night, the words became clearer, more insistent. Play. With me. I wanted to throw her away, leave her on the doorstep, let someone else deal with it. But every time I tried, she was there again, waiting for me, closer than before. It wasn't just the voice, it was the presence, the weight of it. I felt her eyes on me when I tried to sleep, and sometimes, when I woke, I could hear her movement in the dark, dragging across the floor, a slow, methodical scrape of porcelain on wood. I would turn the light on, and she would be there, inches from me, her empty gaze following me wherever I went. The whispers didn't stop. In fact, they grew louder, calling my name, demanding my attention. I can't escape them. I can't escape her. The walls in my apartment began to change too. The cracks in the plaster seemed to grow, stretching outward as if the house itself was breaking open to reveal something darker underneath. The rooms felt smaller, tighter. The air became thick, hard to breathe, like it was being suffocated by something I couldn't see. I started leaving lights on during the day, but even then, the shadows crept back. One night, I woke to see the doll standing, at the foot of my bed. She had moved there somehow without making a sound. Her eyes, they were alive. I swear to God, they were alive. Play with me. Come closer. I could hear her voice so clearly now, and yet I couldn't bring myself to approach her. Every part of me screamed to run, to leave, but my body wouldn't move. I was frozen. My thoughts, disjointed, frantic, raced in circles. I couldn't focus on anything. The room spun. The air was suffocating, pressing down on me, and I couldn't understand what was happening. And then, for the first time, I saw something else. There was movement in the corner of the room, in the shadows where she had once sat. I turned my head trying to clear the fog, but the darkness swirled, seemed to thicken, as though it was alive, reaching toward me. The doll's voice was no longer just a whisper. The shadows grew, swirling around me, closing in. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. The doll's eyes, those damn eyes, locked on mine, and I felt the weight of them, pulling me in, making it impossible to think clearly. When I could finally move again, I ran, leaving everything behind. But when I opened the door to escape, there she was. Standing at the threshold, her porcelain face cracked and smiling. How? How could she have gotten there? I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. My throat was raw. My legs gave way under me. And she was smiling. I'm starting to lose track of time now. It's like I'm in a fog, drifting between sleep and waking, trapped in this house with that thing watching me from the corner of my room. Every time I turn around, I swear she's closer. I'm not sure how long I've been here, how many days or nights have passed. It feels like it's been weeks, maybe months. I hear her voice, clearer now. She doesn't whisper anymore. No, she calls to me. Come closer and play with me. I don't know what's real anymore, or if I'm even awake, but I'm sure of one thing. She's watching me, always watching, waiting, and I can't seem to escape.